There we go.
Technology.
Technology. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Every day I think I get a little further along in getting our technology perfect, and then it doesn't happen the way I want it to. So, good morning and welcome to Coffee Chat with David and Kylie Knight.
Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, April the 2nd, 2020. So be sure to put the hashtag right there. Hello Nights, hashtag cup of awesome if you're watching now or on replay.
Yeah, and if you're on replay, you can always put hashtag hash browns. That's my favorite. I see DJ Edwards is joining us this morning. Good morning, sir. Glad to have you on with us. It is always a pleasure. Be sure to tell all your friends about how much fun you have with David and Kylie Knight. Because
exactly.
Sharing is caring. Not germs.
That's don't share
caring.
that.
Don't share that. But,
not sharing. Caring.
Sharing David and Kylie Knight is always.
Yes.
And we're a little virus-like. I don't know what that means. So yesterday was interesting. As you know, we woke up to a broken coffee machine, which makes coffee chat very difficult.
Tears were shed. Yes.
Tears were shed. Thankfully, we do have a little French press, and we have a grinder, so we could grind our beans and do some French press.
But then David, being the ultimate Mr. I can fix that, decided to pull our entire coffee machine, not a Keurig, this is a beast of a machine, apart in our living room.
Not technically in our living room.
I
mean, it kind of spread between the kitchen and our little nook. I guess.
Yes, and our nook. And
now it's taking over our nook.
Do you have a photo of that?
You know what? I do have a photo of it. Let me see if I can pull that up here, and I'll show you. It's not that one. Oh no, I got rid of it. I got rid of the photo. I did. But you can see there's some internals of the machine. If
you want to see the inside of a coffee machine, there it is, people.
Yeah.
So he's usually really good. He fixes so much for us around the house, and I'm very, very thankful for you.
Oh, thanks, darling.
And so, you got extra tools.
I did. I borrowed some tools from a friend.
Yeah, and he was trying to fix it until the late hours last night, and then
It was amazing how much coffee ground was in that machine. It was 8 years old.
We thought it was like 10, but then we looked back and we found it was like 7 or 8 years old. So it had a good life. It had a good life.
And it was a refurbished machine when we bought it.
Right.
So, we were kind of against the clock on that one.
Yeah, so we've just put it in a plastic bag and we said our farewells.
Yeah, there was a tear shed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be another one coming.
Another tear?
No, another coffee machine.
Another coffee machine, yes. Well, thankfully, so this month is, yay, our birthdays are both in April.
Yay! It's going to be a party around here.
But Kylie's parents, who didn't used to drink coffee.
Right.
But we turned...
My dad did when we were younger, but Mum just hated it.
She was...
Yeah, but a few years ago, she got into coffee. And now she understands
really into
the pain. I was talking to her last night, and she's like, a few years ago, I would have said, well,
it's just a coffee
too
machine.
bad.
Who cares? Yeah.
Suck it up. Do without. But now she's like, oh, we need to fix this problem. So your birthday's coming up. So how about we give you a coffee machine for your birthday?
Yeah.
So I said, well, it's both of us since our birthdays are close together.
Yeah. And I told Kylie, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to fix this machine because I think it's important. And I don't want her parents to have to spend that kind of money on it. But then I woke up this morning, I looked at all the things I've got to get done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have time to fix a coffee machine. So if her parents want to buy us one, I'll let them do that.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But enough of that. We have an incredible guest today.
We do. We are so excited. We have Jeniffer Dake. I hope, you know what? I say that every time. I hope it's Dake. Is that... No, it's not close. Yeah, we'll fix it in a moment. I can see her talking.
Yeah.
I can't hear you yet. Hang on just a second. You get to yell at me in just a moment. I meant to ask you that question.
Yeah.
I don't know. it's one of those things in my head. I do that so many times with different words and phrases.
You just get in your head, and that's what
Exactly.
Anyway.
But she's an amazing speaker who we met a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
She speaks to audiences all across the country about her passion for living life in the fullest of Christ,
Absolutely.
which I love. And she has so much energy.
I
so
wish
much
I
energy.
had it.
And that's before coffee. She's traveled all over the world, studying medicine in Ethiopia, climbing the mountains of San Jose in Costa Rica, biking across Italy, selling vacuums to penguins on the glaciers of Antarctica.
Which we're going to have to hear about.
We're going to have to ask about that one.
I'm curious about that.
She's worn many hats, having dissected everything from cow's eyes and sharks in the name of science to jumping out of a plane, served as a youth pastor, participated in the world's largest leapfrog game, making it into Guinness, line danced her way through 2 country music videos, acted on stage and on screen, waitressed and pole vaulted. She... Guess where I got all this? She lives in Nashville with her husband Nate and their 2 children, although not today. So joining us live from Pennsylvania, Jeniffer. Welcome. Oh, hang on. Let me make sure you should be live. You know what? It keeps doing this to me.
Hey.
There she is.
Yes, she's here.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey. It's glad. I love seeing your faces.
You
Aw.
too. It's been way too long, my friend.
It has, and we really tried to get that together to work again, and the promoters didn't go for it.
I know. What's up with that?
Yeah, we tried.
The whole deal worked out.
We did have it all worked out. You were going to get a great commission off of it.
Yes.
I mean, it was awesome. So I'm
So
thinking now that everything in the world's been canceled, because my entire speaking schedule is canceled,
Yeah.
maybe you guys have some cancellations. We could
We
do something.
I like it. I like it. We could do a virtual conference.
Ooh.
We could. I just want to know if when you do your illusions and such, if you can wear this.
Oh, that is beautiful. Did you? Oh,
That is gorgeous. Wow.
That's pretty.
Did you have that personally made, or did you buy that off Amazon?
Oh, no, I made it.
You made it.
you made it.
What?
I did it with my mom, because
Oh,
when you're
goodness.
quarantined with your mother and your children and your father and you're in your 40s, you need crafts.
So tell us why are you in Pennsylvania? What are you doing there?
Yeah, so my children, who are 4 and 5 years old, so very itty bitty, we came to visit Grandma and Grandpa for 5 days because it was spring break from school.
Oh, nice.
So we had to be back because my daughter had a dance recital, and
Okay.
so we drove up, stopped in West Virginia,
Yeah.
no cases of COVID-19, really safe place to be at the time. Got here and stayed for about 2 days, and I get a phone call. Dance recital's canceled. School is canceled. The world's shut down. And
What
then the real kicker,
timing?
West Virginia got their first case of COVID-19, which pretty much meant it was now worldwide.
That's true.
Sure.
It made it to the
It was
most
the final frontier.
Yes.
And so now we are quarantined in our, my parents have a city house and a farmhouse.
Okay.
Both of those are very inappropriate titles. And
Oh.
the city house has lots of wild animals, and the
Oh.
farmhouse has no farm. It's got
What?
bees and fruits.
That doesn't make sense.
Well,
So,
that is fascinating. I'm amazed by that.
so there you are,
There you are. Yeah.
and you're stuck.
Any idea
in
how long
Pennsylvania.
you're going to be? I mean, are you just riding it out there?
Well, we got notification yesterday that our child's school is canceled until April 27th. We left March 14th. Which this is not news to anybody with children, because 10
Yeah.
states in the country have just called it summer.
Right.
They're done. There's no more school for the year.
Wow.
And I don't think that's such a bad idea. I feel like parents
Yeah.
are like heartbroken, like fighting with kids. Do your work online. They're like, you've always told me never to use a computer. That's my screen time. I don't care about those locks. You know, and the parents are like trying to take the locks off the computer for screen time, and the kids are like, no, I hate screens.
Right.
You know, so the world is in tragedy for the wrong reason. So I feel like what I have done with my children, now they are 4 and 5. People are like, you don't have kids. They are in school. They do get little emails that they do this work.
Okay.
da, da, da.
Cool.
And what we do is we play all day. And when we have a chance to read, we read. When they want to do math, when they want to play school, we do school. We play in mud puddles and all that.
So they are like
stuff.
loving this right now.
Oh, they love it.
Yes.
They love it. Can I tell you what made them laugh so hard yesterday?
Please.
Something fell off the back deck of my parents' house. So it was my job to walk out and to go around the house and pick up this bottle my mom needed and come back. Well, when I came back past the pond, now when I say pond, it's like, okay, it's like you sat in it. That's it. It's a bathtub.
So this whole town is a lie, is what I'm hearing. Is that correct? Like the city house,
Okay.
Everything is a lie. Okay.
No, this is just, we walk around this small little pond, right? It's got tadpoles, living tadpoles.
Oh,
The kids love to see the pond. So there's actual, but it's like, I built it my senior year of high school, and my parents have lovingly kept it as a pond because I wanted fish and they didn't want them in the house. Anyway, I walk around and I come in the house, right? Because most parents who don't want something in the house are like, build a pond outside, have your fish out there. That's great. Yeah. Anyways, as I'm going to try to show a bit. You got to see. Yeah. This may not work.
No, yeah.
What is These that? Turkeys. See that big palm in the middle?
Yeah.
See how that's a car parked? They chased me down the driveway.
They chased
me around the cars. The faster I ran, the faster. They gobbled into the house. I like slammed the door shut. And I was like, there are turkeys chasing me. And she goes, oh, well, it's dinner time. Did you feed them? Who feeds 60 wild turkeys?
No wonder they keep coming back.
Corn. They get fresh corn twice a day.
Oh.
What? Yesterday I was now this is the other part of quarantine when you go back to your parents' home with 2 kids. You end up sleeping in a bed with one of your 2 children every night because there's only so many beds, right?
Yeah.
Which works great for 5 days. For 2 months. I don't know. But I'm laying there and I was like, maybe my son will think I'm asleep and he'll go back to bed. And all of a sudden we hear this. I'm like, and my son wakes up, he's like, Mommy, the turkeys. I'm like, we are in the house. They are so loud. I don't need an alarm clock in the city house because the turkeys wake me up.
Good.
Oh my goodness.
That's so funny.
Why do I feel like that whole story is going to make it into one of her talks?
Yeah.
Some point, somewhere, when I can find the moral and the lesson and the Jesus and the turkey,
when
I
all
will.
this is
The
over.
Jesus and the turkey. That's funny.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's hilarious.
You're cracking me up. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna try to get serious here. Serious-ish.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We'll ask you a few questions and then we'll hit a lightning.
Okay, I do want to know about the penguins.
Okay, yeah. Tell us about the penguins. Okay, how much of your bio is truth?
It's not April Fool's Day, Jennifer.
It's not. You know, I would say the vacuum cleaners in Antarctica is not actually true.
Man.
I know. I just always loved penguins, and I've wanted to hit every continent, which would include Antarctica, and I haven't.
You haven't.
But most of the other stuff would be true. Waitressing, pole vaulting. Yeah, I think that might be the one that's not. I did bike Italy.
Wow.
I will say for all of the parents out there right now who are working and schooling their children and helping them, geography is very important. Because I thought the Tuscany Valley was flat because it was named Valley.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a misnomer and should have been Tuscany, land of many valleys, which means it has many mountains.
Yeah.
So we bike like this every day.
Nice.
And it was a very short valley and lots of this. But you always went downhill to start the day, and your last 11 miles, you were like, hey. One day I was biking up a hill to get to my hotel, and a man jogged past me. Think about that for a moment. I was on a vehicle,
right,
and he was running, and I could not keep up with him.
And your legs are probably doing this, and he's just like,
oh, yeah. Yes, and he's like, he ran by, and I'll never forget it, because he was an Italian man running, and he looked at me, and he got this smirk on his face. He went, ciao, Bella. And the worst part was, I couldn't go the other way to outbike them because
Right.
then I would have just had to turn around and come back
Right?
up. He thought it was great.
I bet.
That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
that other stuff I would say is true.
Okay.
He's telling that story
Exactly.
well in a very different way.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Oh, is he ever?
Oh my goodness, none of these questions even matter anymore. This is so much fun. I just want to hear her
Just
tell
forget the
stories.
question.
Exactly.
Just tell us stories.
Okay. I do want to ask you this. So, and just because I think these are important questions to ask.
Okay.
Fine,
Fine.
getting serious. The whole pandemic thing. Even though yes, there are some difficulties. Obviously, staying with your parents and the kids, and can't go back and can't drive through West Virginia. But what do you think are the benefits that we might see coming out of this whole shutdown of the world pandemic thing?
Yeah, it's such an interesting question. You know, I was lucky to have my grandparents until they were almost 100 years old,
Wow.
right? And so I remember my 98-year-old grandmother who was born in 1910.
Oh.
So my 98-year-old grandmother would tell me this story all the time. And she'd say, and I would make her tell it again and again, because as I got older, I loved it so much. She'd say, and we were all laying there, and as I closed my eyes, I could see the peasy weezies on a string. And all the peasy weezies flew around my head, right? And I know you're like, what is a peasy weezy? Okay, so this was her term. It's what, go back to 1910, peasy weezies were fairies.
Okay.
And so she would say how she was sick and she was laying in bed and there were all these little fairies on a string floating in front of her. Well, what the story was about was the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic that came to the United States. And her entire family was quarantined in their house. And they all got sick but her dad. So they had to hang a white sheet out in front of their door. And soldiers in military vehicles drove down the streets of the towns, and they brought food boxes and left them at all the doors with white sheets. And they would put a red X on that sheet so that nobody else could go in or come out of the house until they were allowed. And so she talked about how her dad took care of everybody and made the food and how they all just watched these peasy weezies because they were so sick, they were delirious. And so here she is at almost 100 telling her granddaughter this story, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there making my children face masks today, and I'm tying it on my little daughter's head, and I'm laughing to myself thinking, okay, when you're in your 40s and you're unpacking a box and you find this dusty old mask, you're going to tell your kids, oh yeah, when I was 6, I had to live at my grandparents for 3 months. I had no idea, right? And we wore these masks, and everybody would... And so I think what's going to come out of it, and I hope what comes out of it, is a newfound central idea of family, of what it means to be together. Not this, what, yeah, no, huh? But actually like interactions and stories and playing and people serving people within their home. Because let's be honest, it's so much easier for me to go serve people that I'm on the road with. It's easier for me to listen to a kid that I've just spoken to tell me this most long story I've ever heard to just say one sentence than it is for me to sit down with my parents or my brother or my kids or my husband and serve them with joy. But in this time, I don't have a choice but to serve them because there's nobody else, right?
Right.
So my hope and my goal is really that when we get to the end of it, which we will,
Yes.
my grandmother saw the pandemic when she was 8. 90 years later, she was telling me about it. Like, we will survive it.
Nice.
I hope the goal is family memories. Like, I hope that electronic schooling, whatever, every kid in the country's in the same boat, parents. Like, just, every teacher's working double time to do something that's not actually their job. Like, just take a moment and play with your kids. Find the biggest mud puddle and give them permission to just go buck wild. Throw mud at them because you know what? You probably have some angst. You want to throw a big mud puddle at them. Throw mud. They're mad at you. Throw mud back and have the biggest outdoor, maybe not food fight, but something.
That's right.
And just enjoy it so that when you're telling the story in 90 years, your story is, oh yeah, we all wore these masks and we all you hung out together and we didn't see any of our friends. And I just think there can be great togetherness, which is something we've kind of lost as a culture.
Interesting.
And so I think that's my hope and my prayer for at least my family. And I hope that's where other families are going.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's beautiful.
It
I
is.
love that. I love that.
And look for peasy weezies.
And look for people, well, naturally.
Well, I'm kind of hoping I don't, because that would mean that I'm really sick.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But if you get to live till 98,
Well, that's
you know,
true,
it's,
yeah.
Right. It was worth it, right?
yeah, might be.
I love it.
I'm looking for some.
Not yet. Come back to us.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're here. So you touched on this a little bit a moment ago, but as a speaker, and that's not all you do, but that's a big portion of what you do. And
Yes.
as a speaker, beyond just having the events canceled or hopefully postponed, how else are you seeing your life and your job impacted by all of this?
I think a lot of it is like, I've never been a social media person. Like I try to be like, hey, let me put up a Insta story, and all my little millennial friends are like, let me show you how to do it, because if you did it, then this would be better for your career. And I'm like, oh, okay, right. And I'm so glad I have a whole bunch of millennials who love me, because shout out to all of you, because I am totally inept when it comes to that stuff. But what it's done is I'm kind of forced to mentor, encourage, and develop those skills that I have always known I needed for my career, but I've never actually been required to do it, because I could say, I can just go see that person, or I can meet them for coffee, or I can. And so I filled my time with these other things instead of saying, no, I actually need to sit down and learn this thing, or I do actually need to write this study out and not just do that. So for me personally, I'm working on producing a Bible study curriculum, so I'm writing more of that. I am told that I need to put little blog type deals up. So I'm working on that, but my friend busted me. One of my good millennial friends busted me because she said, you can't really post it at midnight, because most people need to read it at 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. when you post it. And I didn't know if I posted it at midnight, then by the time people looked the next day, it was lost.
Right.
She's like, I'm like, okay, so I'll work on not posting blogs at midnight, but really, when you have a 4 and 5-year-old who's with you nonstop, that's the time to do it.
Yeah.
So we're working. That's hopefully where my career is growing.
Learn the joys of auto posting.
Scheduled.
I need to learn.
Posting.
I need to learn.
Yes.
But I have an app. I have an app for
there's
that.
an app
One
for
of my
that.
millennials gave it to me.
Oh, very
There's
nice.
Good.
an
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have a lot of people who love you. You're a pretty special person. So.
Yes.
In fact, we were
sweet.
Yeah, well, we were just totally honored when when we put out this call to you to come join us, and you said yes. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll join you
Excuse
anytime.
to talk to her again.
I know, right?
Talk to us.
Since somebody
That's
took
the
away
hard
our
part
opportunity.
about our industry, though. Don't you think that's the hard part about our job? We get so many awesome things, and you get to meet so many people, and then it's like, see you when I see you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're lucky, work together in a year or 3 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really is hard, because we're
is.
also from all over the country. So
Yeah.
it's not even like, hey, this is over, let's go grab dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
That's
maybe
true.
maybe this pandemic is bringing Zoom friendships.
Zoom friendships. I like that.
Hashtag Zoom friends.
There you go.
Maybe you can work with partnership out with Zoom.
Oh, there we go. I like that. All
Okay.
right, should we hit the lightning round?
All right. You ready for a lightning round?
Time for 5 questions. I don't know why her screen did that. Hang on, I got to fix her screen. You went all weird on my screen. Oh, wow.
It's
Now
my
we're going
face,
all over
dude.
the place.
What are
Hang
you
on.
doing, David?
I am destroying everything that I've worked on.
What did that
what is that?
You couldn't see
You're
my face.
terrible. You are terrible.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
That's how I win lightning round.
Is that how you do it? just put up faces. I like it. All right. What is your favorite Bible verse?
John 11:9-10, which says, it's right when Jesus is talking to his disciples about going to see Lazarus, who has died, right? And this has been my favorite verse since I was 12 years old. It says, Jesus looks back at his disciples and says, does a day not have 12 hours in it, and a night have 12 hours? Whoever walks in the day will not stumble, for he has the light of the world, but he who walks at night stumbles, for he has no light. And I just feel like even in this time, in this pandemic, I know God is in control. And when I walk in the light of who Christ is to me and to our world, then I'm not going to stumble into fear and anxiety and worry and depression, because I have the light of the world. But when I am walking and I know that I'm stumbling, fear, anxiety, worry, depression, anger, frustration, even if I'm all of a sudden super frustrated with my kids, I'm like, wait, where is that coming from? Because my kids are still being kids, right? They're still just being who they know to be.
Yeah.
And I have to look backwards and be like, oh, I'm not walking in the light of Christ right now. I'm walking in darkness. And that darkness is my fear. And I'm not saying that I'm never afraid. I'm not saying that this doesn't worry me. I'm not like naive. I'm a scientist at heart. Like that's my education. So I'm not naive to actually what's going on. But I am willing to say that 100% of my security needs to rest in Christ and Christ alone. And so that verse comes back again and again and again. Like, am I walking in the light? Because when I do, I will not stumble. My problem is I don't always walk in the light.
Woo. Preach. I love it.
Very good.
Okay, now
Question 2.
something completely unspiritual. What are you binge watching right now?
Oh, dude, I'm binge watching all of my old childhood TV shows and movies to see if I can show them to my kids on Friday night movie night, because we only do screen time on Friday nights. I'm trying to maintain that.
Wow.
But I'm like, we've watched the kids get a pick, but they only have like 5 movies that they've ever watched, right? So we've watched The Grinch so many times, and not the Jim Carrey, but the like fully animated Grinch.
Okay.
So much my kids are like, pretend. I'm like, I can't watch The Grinch. So last night I put on Robin Williams' The Hook.
Oh, yeah.
Right, or Hook.
Yes.
But I can't wait to show it to my kids.
Oh, no.
It is mortifying. They lock a guy in a box and drop scorpions in there. They cut off somebody. I'm like, I can't show this to my kids. I can't show this to anybody. What is this? It's PG. The guy at one point is yelling. I'm like, I would die if my kid said that word. Like, so I am binge watching every show I thought was appropriate for 4 and 5-year-olds to find out it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Totally not. But anybody in the comments is like, oh, hey, my 4 and 5-year-old love this show. It's not The Grinch, and it's totally appropriate. I would just love that.
All right, you heard that, gang. We need some great shows for 4 and 5-year-olds that are not The Grinch.
Yes.
That are extremely appropriate.
I will say, if I watch TV by myself, The Good Place, theologically horrible.
Yes.
Theologically horrible. I am not supporting the theology.
No.
But awesome.
The writing is fantastic.
Hysterical.
Lock and
Is that
Lock
good?
and Key is awesome. Season 1 just came out. They just signed. It's a Netflix show. They signed for season 2. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So Lock and
Okay, we'll have to check that out. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is helping our list.
I was going to say, I've been trying to get her to watch that, so I appreciate you vouching for it.
Cool. You set that up.
I did. Okay, so I would ask. Okay, well, I'll ask this: if you could have any other job than the one you have right now, what would it be?
Oh gosh, that's such a hard question. I think if I could do it really, really well and not at the disadvantage of my kids, I would probably go back to being a youth pastor at a local church.
Yeah.
That's some of my, like, I did that before I became a traveling speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about that is I got to watch kids grow from like little kindergartners all the way till they came through my youth group, till they graduated. And some of those kids are in their 20s and I'm still friends with them. Like, they call me on a regular basis. I mentor, like, such deep relationships are built. So I think if I could do that without putting my kids at a disadvantage, and lots of youth pastors do it well, I just think as a mom, it would be hard for me to balance both.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that might be it. The other one, which this really can't go too public, but I would be, if I could convince my husband, probably a Salvation Army officer. They're awesome, but don't make that known too well because I think they might put me in uniform.
I think they might.
They might.
They've got spies, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, this might be a tough one to answer because you're not really at home. But do you want to ask this one? Because you'd like to ask this one.
Yeah, so right now, since we can't really go into restaurants and sit down and enjoy a meal with somebody serving us, everyone's just doing to-go orders. So what's your favorite to-go order?
I really like sushi.
Oh.
I feel like you can get home and have a sushi experience. That is my favorite, and it is the one that, like, my husband and I will feed the kids, put the kids to bed, and then have, like, because my kids go to bed at 7,
right.
so it's like, then we'll have, like, sushi at 7:30 or 8, you know, like,
nice.
But nobody in the current household that I'm in eats sushi, so right now, our most common to-go order happens to be Wendy's.
Wendy's.
That's just the same as sushi, right?
It's close.
Wendy's fish sandwich.
There you go.
Sushi.
There you go.
Fresh.
Not so much. Okay. Good
Awesome.
one.
Okay, that's a good one. And then lastly, what are you reading right now when you have time to read?
I know you're free time.
Time to read, yes. So, there's a new series of books out called The Secret of the Scrolls.
Oh.
And it is kind of C.S. Lewis-esque. My 5-year-old daughter will tell you, this is an allegory of the Bible.
Wow.
Yes, it is an allegory, sweet child. But it is, it's a kid's chapter book. So when I read, I'm reading kids' books. But it's called The Secret of the Scrolls. If you're home with kids and you have a kid, I would say my kids are 4 and 5. They love them.
Okay.
Says it's up to a 3rd grade reading level.
Okay.
And they're just really interesting. So they've taken the entire Bible, they put it into 7 books, and they've turned it into an allegory of these kids who go to their great uncle's house because their parents are on a missionary trip, and they find these scrolls, and these scrolls take them to faraway land. So the first one is the Garden of Eden, and the second one is Noah's Ark, and it goes through the Bible. And my daughter got in the car the other day and read, in our hour drive to the farmhouse, she read 7 chapters of this book out loud to us this week. She's just enthralled in them.
Nice.
So, The Secret of the Scrolls is what I'm reading right now.
I love it.
For me, there is a book, if you have not read it, called Hind's Feet on High Places. I would say everybody needs to read it.
Okay.
Hind's Feet on High Places. An old allegory of the Christian life.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. I like it.
Man.
Good one.
Nice.
Well, I got to tell you, this has probably been one of the most fun coffee chats we've ever done. You have cracked us up.
Thank you so much.
Well, you've made us laugh and smile so much, and it made us miss you even more than we already did. So,
right? Okay, so maybe,
yeah.
if you come up to another week and you're like, oh, stink, we have a slot we have to fill and nobody wants to be here, maybe I'll come and join you again with stories from the farm.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
We might take you up on that. Okay.
Coffee chat story half an hour.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it. That we might just have to make that a segment.
Nice.
Stories from the farm.
It could be like a 5-minute segment.
Exactly.
I love it.
Come in. We work well together.
And we do. We do.
Very good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. And we look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Watch out for those turkeys.
Awesome.
That's right.
I will.
Take care.
I'll send you a video.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye.
Oh my goodness, she is so amazing, so amazing. I absolutely love her.
I know.
I
That was
remember
so great.
when we got the chance to work with her the first time. She just made us smile, and
Yeah.
I love that. I just saw that photo that we got taken with her the other day. I might have to post that again.
I think so.
But tomorrow we will have our personal pastor, David Wallstedt, joining us.
Yes.
Yes. And he'll be talking mostly probably about Uganda shoe trees. As you know,
Right.
he's kind of the one who developed that and helps it to run. So he'll be with us then.
Yeah.
And we'll still be drinking our through your coffee. We'll still be drinking our French press coffee, which I know for most people it sounds like, oh, that's not terrible, that's awful, or it's awesome, but for us it's tough. Any final thoughts?
I think that's it for today.
All right. Hey, don't forget, if you've got some great videos that we can send over to Jennifer, pop those in the comments so we can get her watching something other than the Grinch.
She would appreciate it.
She would. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Sounds great. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.